South Jamaica, Queens, a breeding ground for hustlers and killers. This is where Roderick "Rod" Diggs emerged from the shadows, a childhood scarred by poverty and violence. It wasn't long before he was sucked into the vortex of gang life. The streets became his classroom, loyalty and brutality his twisted curriculum. He was just a kid, but the streets aged him fast. Every day was a struggle for survival. Respect was earned through fear, and Rod Diggs was about to become very, very feared. The Bloods, a name synonymous with terror. For Rod Diggs, they were family. He rose quickly through the ranks, his ruthlessness unmatched. A natural-born leader, he commanded respect with an iron fist. His name, whispered in the streets, sent chills down spines. He lived by the gang's code, blood in, blood out, loyalty above all else. And he expected the same from his soldiers. Disobedience was met with swift and brutal punishment. Rod Diggs was becoming a legend. The streets knew Rod Diggs as a ruthless gang leader. His name struck fear into the hearts of many, a name whispered in hushed tones in the darkest corners of the city. He was a man who commanded respect through sheer brutality, a figure who seemed to thrive in the shadows of the urban jungle. But there was another side to him, a side that few knew about, a side that was as enigmatic as it was dangerous. This side of Rod was hidden behind layers of makeup and silk, a transformation that was both meticulous and mesmerizing. A side shrouded in silk and makeup. The transformation was not just physical but psychological. Each brushstroke, each piece of fabric, was a step into a different persona, a different world. It was a world where Rod Diggs could become anyone, a chameleon blending seamlessly into the night, a side that allowed him to move undetected, to get close to his victims. In the guise of a glamorous figure, he could slip through the cracks of the city's underbelly, unnoticed and unchallenged. His disguise was his weapon, a tool that allowed him to strike with precision and disappear without a trace, a side that terrified and confused in equal measure. The duality of his existence was a puzzle that few could piece together. To his victims, the realization came too late, a moment of clarity that was often their last. He used drag as a disguise, a tool to disarm and deceive. The transformation was his art, his craft. It was a performance that required skill and precision, a dance between reality and illusion. Each time he donned his disguise, he became a predator in plain sight. His victims, often rivals caught off guard, never saw it coming. They were drawn in by the allure, the charm, the facade that Rod so expertly crafted. It was a trap, a deadly masquerade that left no room for escape. They were lured into a false sense of security. The disguise was perfect, the deception complete. In those moments, Rod was not just a gang leader, he was an actor, a master of disguise, a puppeteer pulling the strings of fate. By the time they realized the danger, it was already too late. The mask would come off, the illusion shattered, and the true face of Rod Diggs would be revealed. But by then, the game was over, and the deadly masquerade had claimed another victim. The reign of terror couldn't last forever. The law finally caught up with Rod Diggs. His crimes, a litany of violence and murder, shocked the city. The courtroom became a stage for his downfall. He was convicted and sentenced to multiple life sentences. His days on the streets were over, but even behind bars, his legend continued to grow. He was a ghost story whispered in prison cells, a cautionary tale of power and depravity. Section 5, Unrepentant and Untamed, 80X Florence, the Alcatraz of the Rockies, home to the most dangerous criminals in America. Rod Diggs, now known as inmate number XXX, was right at home. His spirit, unbroken by confinement, found new ways to exert control. From inside his cell, he ran his empire. Messages smuggled in and out, orders delivered with chilling efficiency. The streets still trembled at his name. He was a phantom, reaching from the shadows to orchestrate his will. Section 6. Behind bars, A Star is Born, confinement couldn't silence his ambition. Rod Diggs, the convicted killer, now fancied himself a rapper. He recorded verses, his voice rough and haunting, filled with the echoes of the streets, his lyrics a chilling glimpse into the mind of a predator. He believed his music was his ticket out, a way to rewrite his narrative, to transform from monster to icon. But the world wasn't ready to forgive. His music, laced with violence and braggadocio, met with outrage and disgust. Section 7, Whispers of Doubt. While Diggs languished in prison, a curious thing happened. A group emerged, claiming his innocence. They pointed to inconsistencies in the case, alleging police misconduct and coerced testimonies. They were a motley crew, united by their belief in his innocence. They held rallies, demanding his release. Their voices, though small, began to raise questions. Was Rod Diggs a victim of circumstance? a pawn in a corrupt system? Section 8. The Legacy of a Mastermind. Rod Diggs remains a chilling enigma. His name sends shivers down the spines of those who remember his reign of terror. A criminal mastermind who used the most unexpected disguise to carry out his deadly deeds. Rod Diggs was not just a man, he was a chameleon blending into the urban jungle with ease. His disguises were so convincing that even those closest to him were often fooled. He could be anyone, anywhere, at any time. His story, a cautionary tale of ambition, betrayal, and the seductive allure of power. Rod's rise to infamy was not just about the crimes he committed, but the way he manipulated those around him. He had an uncanny ability to read people, to understand their deepest fears and desires, and to use that knowledge to his advantage. His ambition knew no bounds, and he was willing to betray anyone to achieve his goals. His crimes forever etched in the annals of true crime. Each act of violence, each meticulously planned heist, added to his dark legacy. The police were always one step behind, trying to piece together the puzzle that was Rod Diggs. His methods were unorthodox, his plans intricate, and his execution flawless. He was a master manipulator, a puppet master, pulling the strings from the shadows. Rod's influence extended far beyond his immediate circle. He had a network of informants, allies, and pawns, all of whom played their part in his grand scheme. He orchestrated events with the precision of a maestro, ensuring that everything went according to plan. He understood the power of fear, of chaos, and he wielded them with terrifying precision. Rod knew that fear was a powerful motivator, and he used it to control those around him. He thrived in chaos, creating situations that left his enemies disoriented and vulnerable. His ability to instill fear was unmatched, and it became one of his most effective tools. His name, once whispered in fear, now echoed in morbid fascination. The legend of Rod Diggs continues to captivate the public's imagination. True crime enthusiasts and historians alike study his life, trying to understand what drove him to such extremes. His story serves as a grim reminder of the darkness that can reside within the human soul and the lengths to which some will go in their quest for power and control. Section 9. A Haunting Reminder. The case of Rod Diggs serves as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. In the bustling city where life moves at a frenetic pace, it's easy to overlook the shadows that hide in plain sight. Rod Diggs was one such shadow, a man whose presence was both captivating and terrifying. Of the ease with which charm can mask evil, his charm was his weapon, a tool he wielded with precision to disarm those around him. People were drawn to his charisma, unaware of the malevolence that lay beneath his polished exterior. He moved through society with ease, his true nature hidden behind a mask of affability and the enduring power of fear. His story continues to fascinate and repulse in equal measure. Fear has a way of gripping the human psyche, of planting seeds of doubt and suspicion. The mere mention of his name would send shivers down the spines of those who knew of his deeds. His legacy is one of terror, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within a person. He is a figure shrouded in mystery, his motives as elusive as his true self. What drove Rod Diggs to commit such heinous acts? Was it a deep-seated hatred, a desire for power, or something even more sinister? The answers remain hidden, locked away in the recesses of his mind. His true self, like his motives, is a puzzle that may never be fully solved. Was he a product of his environment, a victim of circumstance? The gritty urban landscape he inhabited was rife with challenges and hardships. Did these external factors shape him into the monster he became, or was there something inherently evil within him from the start? The debate continues with no clear resolution in sight. Or was he born evil, a predator in human skin? The questions linger unanswered. Some believe that evil is an inherent trait, something that a person is born with. Others argue that it is a result of one's environment and experiences. In the case of Rod Diggs, the truth may lie somewhere in between. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the complexities of human nature and the darkness that can reside within. Section 10. The Enduring Shadow of Drag. The unsettling image of Rod Diggs, the ruthless killer in drag, continues to haunt the public imagination. It's a stark reminder of the duality of human nature, of the masks we wear to conceal our true selves. His case challenged preconceived notions, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable truth that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It shattered the illusion of safety, reminding us that danger can wear many faces, even the most alluring. Section 11. A Chilling Truth. In the end, the story of Rod Diggs is a chilling testament to the adaptability and ruthlessness of the human spirit. It's a descent into the heart of darkness and a stark reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we create ourselves. His legend, a toxic blend of fact and fiction, continues to captivate and disturb. He remains an enigma, a ghost story whispered in hushed tones, a chilling reminder that some evils cast long shadows.